Hi everyone, I wanted to come on here and share with you guys all my recent makes. Most of these are Christmas projects and I do have a few fall embellies that I wanted to share first. I made this adorable pumpkin pie mini album. This is a KSCRAFT die and I think it turned out so cute. So you do get the option to make it into a shaker, which I did for mine. For my shaker bits, I'm using two different sizes of pumpkin confetti, this soft orange sequence with dark orange circle sequence. I have orange and gold seed beads. For the whipped cream, I'm using white shimmer paper. I decided to use a plain orange cardstock to resemble the pumpkin pie. The die set also comes with this fork die. I had to, of course, add a bow. For my sentiments, I just put this Hello Fall sticker from my stash. This pumpkin die is by Echo Park. It's a really old pumpkin die that I've had in my stash. I made these little bows to attach my pages together, and this is trim from Hobby Lobby. This next die is called Pumpkin Pie Shaker. So similar to my album, I added the same sequence mix. I did add a foam layer to the whipped cream and I'm using white glitter paper. They're just too adorable. Moving along with another shaker die. This one is called Apple Cider Shaker. These ones are also very adorable. I love this tiny little cork that comes with the die set. For my sequence mix, I'm using different shades of brown. I have a paper from my stash that has these tiny little apples. So I fussy cut those little apples and included them in the shaker. You can kind of see it here. And I thought that was a fun little detail to add. In the die set, you also get the letters to spell out apple cider. Of course, I have to add my bows. I have another shaker. This one I'm using the mushroom shaker cutting die, also by KSCRAFT. You get two different sizes. This one is the medium-sized mushroom. Here's the smaller mushroom. And for this one, I just added the tiny seed beads. And I think they are adorable. I did make a few that are non-shakers, which also turn out just as cute. I'm not using any pattern paper, just plain cardstock for these two anyway. This one I did. I made one of these scarecrows. This one was a lot of paper piecing, but it turns out so adorable. This next die is called 2025 Fall Sentiments. So it has Happy Harvest, Sweater Weather, Grateful, Pumpkin Patch, Fall in Love, and Apple Cider. I like to die cut out the words twice, one in gold paper and then my pattern paper of choice or cardstock. I think it turns out really pretty and it adds extra details to your words. Moving along to the Christmas projects. These next few dies are also by KSCRAFT. I'll start off with this one first. This is the Christmas House Pockets cutting die. Oh my goodness, I loved playing with this die. And you can decorate your house in so many different ways, but this is how mine turned out. I'm using Snow and Cocoa by Crepe Paper. How cute is the little bird from the collection? I just fussy cut it out and glued it on top of the door. For my windows, I'm using Snow Vellum that I got from Michael's. I hope you guys can see that. I added bows to all my windows. The die set also comes with Christmas lights and the wreath. I made a little dingle on the side with these jingle bells. Of course, had to add a handmade bow to the top of the house, and it has 2 pockets that you can fill handmade goodies in. Such a cute die. This next project, I'm using one of my favorite dies that she released as well. It's this Apron desk menu. And I love that it stands up like this. Isn't that just so cute? I added another jingle bell here with a tassel for some layering, and this is how my cover of my recipe book turned out. There's the cute kitchen mittens that I added a tiny bow, and I punched out a heart for the middle. Here's another pocket. I did sew around my apron with pink thread. Added these snowflake embellishments, and the paper pad I'm using is from Michael's. Hannah also made a separate die that creates these gingerbread recipe die cut. So you get the gingerbread and the stamp that reads recipe card, serves, times, ingredients, and in the back it shows directions. So you just stamp out your image on your desired paper and cut it out, which I think is such a cute die as well. So that's what I used, and then added some of the tags from the paper collection. Hannah also has a gingerbread reinforcer die, so I used that for the tag. Here's another tag. This die is called Gingerbread Mug Shaker. So this is what the die looks like. It does not come with the whipped cream. This is from a separate die. So for my sequins, I'm using Christmas clay bits, seed beads. There's cute little gingerbread, these circles. They're both from Michael's that I got last year, but I think they have some this year as well. It's this here, and then I'm using this glitter mix. I used a strip of paper to make this straw. These candy cane foam stickers are from Hobby Lobby. I added the bow to the candy cane, gems for the buttons. I thought it would be cute to make a little snowman. I have the perfect die for all of the accessories. So it is by Lawn Fawn, called Build a Snowman. It looks like this. and the size fit perfectly for my mug. So I'm using the mittens nose as well as the little blush from that die, and I think it turns out just so adorable. For my sequins mix, I stuck with faux snow and white sequins, and I'm using these white pearls for the buttons. The die set also comes with the smaller mug, and I did the same thing, except I'm using different candy cane embellishments from my stash. They might have been from Michael's from years ago. And here's a comparison of the two mugs together. To my surprise, I had a smaller whipped cream die from my stash that fit perfectly on these smaller mugs. So this next die is called Winter Boot Mini Album. I'm using the, what paper collection is this? I want to say it's Frank Garcia. Now I have to know, so let's see. Sugar Cookie by Frank Garcia. So I didn't make it into an album yet. Right now it's just the boot itself. I'm using a layer of pink cardstock for the first layer. Then this second outline I did in pink glitter cardstock. Then used a brown cardstock for the platform of the boot. For this final layer, I popped it up on some foam and then did stitching around my boot. For this part, I'm using white glitter paper. I made my handmade bows and stuck them on the side of the boot with a gemmy in the middle, then added these snowflakes. I had to do a dangle piece, and I just added a tassel and a pink jingle bell. This next die is really pretty. It is the Noel mini album. I'm using Say Freeze. This is by Recollections, and it's a paper pad from last year. Let's start with this side. I love to add dangles to my mini album, so I included a tassel for my stash. I'm using this bright red ribbon that I put through all the hole punches. This star reinforcer is also by KSCRAFT. It's the one that creates those cute gingerbread reinforcers as well. It's all part of the same die. I added 2 poinsettia clusters, the top left hand corner and the bottom right side corner. Underneath I added a snowflake to add some layers, and I love the way it's peeking underneath the poinsettias. I did the same to this one, but this one is covered up a little more. Just kind of see it a little bit underneath the leaves. The ornament I made into a shaker. Added a bow on top of the ornament and one of these snowflake embellies for my sentiments. It says all the sparkly lights. I thought that was fitting, and I stitched across the ephemera piece. These snowflakes are from a Tim Holtz die. The next projects I'll share with you are by Kljuyp. This is using the Christmas Candy Jar album. This paper collection that I'm using is also from Recollections. It came out last year, and I don't have it on me right now, but I've used it before on some other projects. It's so cute and girly. I love all the pastel colors. So the die create this candy jar that measures, it is about 6 3/4 inches. For my sequins, I'm using a bunch of different colors that match the paper pad, like blue, pink, purple. I added white seed beads, all the fun stuff. The die set also comes with these little candies, Hershey Kiss and candy cane. I decided to add some poinsettias because I thought it looked a little plain down here. I was originally gonna add the bow, but then I thought something was missing at the top, so I saved it for the top of the jar. And I think it turned out so cute. This ribbon coordinates with this paper collection from Michaels, and this peppermint center gemmy is from Hobby Lobby. This next die is called Chubby Gingerbread Lady. I thought these are just so adorable when I first did the unboxings to these. I had to do a pink gingerbread. So it does come with all the layering pieces to create her. To attach the halo, I am using a thin piece of acetate. Here's the mini one. I love their little faces. This die is called Shaker Christmas Pennant. I'm using the same paper collection that I used for the candy jar album, as well as the sequence mix. I added this pom-pom trim to the side. I still need to add a paper straw to make it into a banner. So the die set also comes with this ho 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 that you can add. I did use foam for mine to pop it out a little more. So this is also a really fun die. I need to make more of these. This one is perfect for the holidays coming up to add a small gift. It's the 3D Chapstick Gift Box. So this is how it turns out. So you can add your chapstick in there. I'm using this green twine that matches the paper pad perfectly. This paper pad is called Holly Jolly by Recollections. It's one of the Michaels paper pads that they came out with this year. I also used that same paper pad to create this lovely file folder. This is also one of my favorite die sets from Kljuyp. I could see myself using this on all my swaps. You can also make this into a mini album and add your pages in here. It's so cute. So this is how it turns out. Super easy and fun to use. I did do sewing on my layering pieces, as you can see. This oval die is by Stephanie Barnard. It is called Dotted Ovals. And then I'm using this Christmas tree from Mintopia. I fussy cut this deer from one of the tag cut aparts. These beautiful poinsettias are from Hobby Lobby. I added some greenery underneath the poinsettias using pearls for the ornaments on the tree. This trim is from Hobby Lobby. I'm using this snowflake embellishment for the center. For my sentiment, down here it says, wishing you joy and happiness this Christmas. I made a dangle with all of the charms that I recently hauled from Hobby Lobby. Like these peppermint pieces, these tiny little jingle bells. This tassel is from my stash. I'm using seam binding that I attached underneath this layer of the file folder, and you just undo it like this and it opens up like so, and you can tie this back together to keep it closed. Isn't that so cute? You can even decorate this side if you wanted to, but I kept mine plain. I love this pattern paper from the collection. Alright, so that is all of the projects that I have for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone!